Salad, evolved monkeys. Here comes another video from me. If you're new to my channel, I post devlogs and game dev related experiences, usually using an AI voice to narrate them to avoid taking countless retakes. Otherwise, it sounds like,
Salute evolved monkeys. Here comes another video from me. Anyway, coming back to today's video. So I'm participating in round 1 of GDKO 2025, hosted by Xanderwood. A little bit about GDKO. GDKO stands for Game Dev Knockout. It basically means a knockout style tournament for game devs. The bottom 50% of participants will be eliminated in the first 3 rounds. Round 3 will be the classic recreate round, and also the knockout style dev versus dev starts from this round. More details are on Xanderwood's channel. This is also the first time I am participating in a game jam alone. I don't hope to progress to round 2, let alone round 3, because there are some crazy, nerdy GDKO and game dev veterans participating. I also told my friend Shimon to participate and he hopped in. We stayed awake until 1:30 am to see the task reveal, and then the task reveal happened. The task is to have one primary mechanic and the secondary mechanic that complements the primary mechanic and helps in progression. That's pretty broad, but the broadness also means you cannot cover up your mistakes with pretty art and nice sound. And this also means I don't have to worry about the art. I wasn't able to think of any ideas at 2 am, but 2 am ideas are anyway the worst ideas you can have, because the difference between sleep deprivation and lack of sobriety is thin for most and zero for me. Or in case you don't know what a mechanic is, Google it or use ChatGPT. I know you won't, so here I am explaining. It will be a lot of theory, so you can skip ahead if you know what a mechanic is. So, mechanics are how something happens in a game. You press jump and the player jumps. This is a mechanic.
You use coins and upgrade, it's a mechanic.
You run over NPCs with your car and they cry, a mechanic.
A mechanic fixing your car in a game, a mechanic.
What is progression? Progressing, going ahead. Yup, that's it. You unlock higher levels, higher abilities, or new areas, or progress in a story game. In the context of life, if you are a student, you are studying, that's the primary mechanic. You are buying books to study, that's the secondary mechanic. You are getting good grades, progression.
Enough of the theory. Back to how I worked on my submission.
Luckily, we had a holiday on January 1st. I thought of some mechanics. I felt I've done 3 platformers and it is time I step out of my comfort zone. I wanted to explore outside it. Also, platformers require a lot of mechanics to be implemented. And I didn't want to overscope since it's a solo jam. I'll have to take care of art and UI stuff alone too. They may not be the judging criteria. Decent art is sometimes needed for good retention, I believe. A physics puzzle game looked like a good option to me. So I decided that my primary mechanic would be shooting. Now, the secondary mechanic is supposed to complement the primary mechanic and help in progression. I decided on a level-based progression. That is, we complete levels to go ahead. So basically, the secondary mechanic is to make completing levels easier for my game. I decided to make the goal movable. Shoot to collect all the stars and reach the goal point. Your decision, your strategy of placing the goal will make the game easier or more difficult. Of course, there will be puzzles that will make your life difficult, but you will have some autonomy over whether you make your own life difficult or not. Just like real life. Do I still have you guys? Or do you really have the attention span of a goldfish? Or are you worse? Does that make you a silverfish? Did you know silverfish isn't a fish but an insect? Did you believe me? I told you not to believe anything without proof, not even your own birth date. But I didn't lie, silverfish isn't a fish.
Coming back to the topic.
I was able to implement the movable door and shooting the cannon pretty quickly. Faster than I expected, to be honest. Yes, I know it looks bad. But what else do you expect from a prototype? Fancy glow effects and VFX? What are you, one cup mocha? Participating in your first game? I was planning portals, so I started working on them. Meanwhile, Shimon reminded me to check if shooting between multiple cannons works fine, which I had absolutely forgotten to test in all directions. I was trying to shoot the ball, but sometimes the ball was disobeying the master. Discord helped me out.
Shimon helped me out too.
After sorting this, I went back to working on portals. I faced the same issue I had with the cannons. So the solution was the same for me. I killed the ball and respawned a new ball. That is what happens to anyone who disobeys me. I am just kidding. I do not believe in killing people. I do not believe in doing this, whatever this is. While this might not be the best approach, whatever was my ball. You shouldn't question my questionable practices. Since my basic level design elements were sorted, I started plugging them in and making levels. Next, I had to face what I was avoiding, art. I experimented with art and asked for feedback, and I got the feedback. Silly me.
Never ask for feedback when you are only hoping for appreciation, especially if you are still angry about that time when your second grade English teacher did not praise your homework.
But I am not you. Unlike some of you folks, I know how to take feedback. I took the feedback rudely and gracefully and not in a very demure way. And then I experimented a bit more. I was fixated on having a minimalistic art style at first because I thought it would be simpler. It wasn't. I struggled. This was how my art was looking. Yeah, it looks like a 2-year-old with the hands of a 24-year-old made it. I decided to start over. I created a mood board, looked for references and inspirations, and then I suddenly came across this. I absolutely fell in love with the game and the assets. I spent some time playing the game and almost forgot about the game jam. I asked adempercem for the assets. Not expecting them to reply, I started drawing on my own. I referred to this game and almost completed all my assets. Yes, I took inspiration regarding the color scheme. Not because yellow is my favorite color. Yellow isn't my favorite color, and this isn't the reason why most of my videos have a yellow thumbnail. Later, I saw a reply from 18%. They were ready to give me their self-created assets absolutely for free. I used some of the objects in my game and also the sound in their assets. You all should check out their game too. I'll add a link in the description. Before importing the new assets, I shared a draft version with my friends and they playtested it. I got some feedback and new bugs to bite me. As expected, some feedback really tested my patience. I was almost ready to punch their faces through the monitor. If you're curious who that person is, just assume it's you. Better stay safe than curious. Next, I imported the new assets to Penpot, designed the screens, referred to them, and implemented those in Godot. Finally, we have this. If you are curious why I made the goal point a door, I just did. My game, my wish. Tell me why I shouldn't. No, wait, don't tell me. I won't listen. So I added a few levels, sound effects, fixed a few insets, and almost got ready to submit. But then I felt like submitting my paper early in an exam while other people are still writing, so I was scared to submit. I'm still scared. I haven't submitted yet. I'll probably upload the video first, or just a few moments after submitting the game. Let's see how it goes. But I did put into use a lot of things I learned from my previous game jam experiences. I planned ahead, controlled my urge to implement almost every other mechanic I could think of, used a modular approach, and didn't write code that's too coupled, interdependent. I can work on that further, but I'm satisfied sort of. I worked with rigid bodies, I learned a lot, and I had a lot of fun playing my own game. Creating a puzzle and seeing my friends come up with different solutions for certain levels was fun. And that's exactly how their solutions made my secondary mechanic a success. I am happy with what I have made and will remain that way even if I don't progress ahead. This video is probably very long. If you have stuck around till now, thanks a lot. If you liked my video, you can express it by clicking the button that looks like a thumbs up and subscribing to me for more devlogs and bad jokes. Thank you.